Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and build our Flamingo tile into the page. Let's flip back to Photoshop. This is what we're going to be building. We're going to be building a external container here that has a border and a drop shadow on it. Inside there's an image, there's a head, there's a paragraph, and there's a button, which we'll be using a link to make that button. Go back to Dreamweaver, and let's go ahead and build that structure into our page. Now this is where we're going to start. We're going to be putting everything we're doing here inside the body tags of the HTML page. HTML pages are built with the following structure. You always start with your doc type declaration. In this case, it's HTML. It's always going to be the same, and Dreamweaver was really nice by spitting all of this out for us. So all you really need to do is go to File, New, and create this page, and Dreamweaver will give you all of this. But we'll just explain it real quick what it's doing. The HTML page is then defined by the HTML tags, the open and close HTML tags, which are on line 2 and line 12. First thing after the HTML tag is the head section of the HTML page. The head section holds all the pertinent information about the HTML page, is an area where you can link your CSS files, link your JavaScript files, set the title, which is happening on line 5, which is what Google reads and displays when you do a search and your page comes up. And then there's metadata. In this case, it's a character set meta tag. This level sets and allows the browser to understand what character set it's using for fonts. There are other meta tags that go in. We'll discuss them at a later date, but things for social media, things for sharing, and search engine optimization go into the head. Just below the head, after you close the head tag, you have the open body and close body tags, and then you finish off the page with the close HTML page, and that's your basic structure. What we're going to do is we're going to be focusing inside the body. I've gone ahead and created let's do a couple returns here to open this up so we see what we're dealing with. First thing I want to do is I want to start with is a head tag. Now you can do a couple ways. So I can type it in, or I can go right over here and I can choose this drop down here on the insert tab, click the arrow, and it went real quick, but it just dumped in an H2. I don't want to do that H2. This is a little persnickety, so I'm just going to undo. Command Z to undo that. It's easier for me actually just to type it in. So you type a less than bracket, type H1, type the close bracket, type what the name you want is, in this case Flamingo, do a left bracket, a slash, and Dreamweaver will go ahead and finish that tag for you, and you'll see that it displays right up top in the split view. So this is really cool that it finishes it out, but Dreamweaver actually gives you a quicker way to do this. So I'm going to delete these. I'm just going to show you real quick. You type H1 because that's the tag you want, and then you hit tab, not return, tab, and that will complete the entire tag for you. And then all I have to do is type Flamingo. Done. I have my H1 tag. I have a primary title for my page, and now I'm going to go ahead and do the layout for my tile. Go to the next page. I'm going to create a div. I'm just going to type div and hit tab. There's my div. My insertion point is right in the middle between the two tags, so I'm right in the right spot. I'm going to hit enter or return a couple times, do some spaces. I'm going to add my image. Now, adding the image is actually a lot easier using the insert tag, the insert element over here, the palette right here on the bottom right. So all I'm going to do is hit image, double click image, and that's going to open up for me. It may or may not, or it may be persnickety. And it seems that it's being persnickety. There we go. Alright, double click it, comes up. Now remember at the beginning when we set our images folder, well, that's where the images insert item knows where to go. I've already put our Flamingo thumbnail image in there that you guys cut out in class already. So I'm going to hit open, and that's going to pop it right in. Image tag is made up of a source, which links to where the actual file exists, which is in our images directory, and it goes ahead and pops in the image width and the image height and gives an alternative attribute for it. The alternative attribute, we're going to go ahead and we're going to say Flamingo. This helps with screen readers. This helps with search engine optimization. I'm going to go to the end of that image tag and hit return a couple times. Open it up. Let's go back to Photoshop and make sure that we're doing what we're supposed to be doing. We've got our image. Great. Now I need a heading, I need a paragraph, and I need a link. Let's go back to Dreamweaver. I'm going to create my my heading here. I already have an H1 on the page, so this is going to be an H2. I'm going to type H2 and hit Tab. And then I'm going to type the Flamingo. I'm going to go down to my next line and just hit the down arrow to go. I'm going to do a paragraph, hit P and hit Tab. That goes ahead and creates my close tag. I'm going to go back to Photoshop. I'm going to go into my type tool and I'm going to select my paragraph and I'm going to copy all of this. Command C to copy. Go back to Dreamweaver. And my insertion point is still sitting there between the P tags. I'm going to hit paste. There's all my copy. I'm going to click after the P tag, go down to my next line, and now I'm going to put my link in. So the link is an A tag or an anchor tag. And you can do that by going over the insert and popping in the hyperlink, clicking that once. And that will double click it. That'll open up a window that asks you what the link is, what the target is, what the text is. Right now all we want to really deal is with the text. And what is it called? Our button is called Learn More. So let's click into there and we're going to copy that. Go back to Dreamweaver. Paste it into the link. Text. We don't have a link yet. We'll add that in a little bit. We click OK. There is our link. It's called an href of, this is a hash mark, that's a default link, and we're going to end up putting something else in there later. So that's our structure. I'm going to delete some files. That's our primary structure of our page. We've got a header up top. We've got our image. We've got our heading for our tile. We've got our paragraph for the tile, and we have our link, all surrounded by our div. And that's our initial primary setup with HTML. Next video, we're going to assign some classes and set up CSS.